right. Happy National Signing Day. Early National Signing Day. And happy Wednesday? Is today Wednesday? Yes, happy Wednesday. Okay, great. We don't normally do this on a Wednesday. Great day today for us, for Arizona. Wound up signing 20 total players at this point in time, and which would be 16 high school players, and then 3 transfers, and then 1 junior college player that's coming in. So that'll be those are our 20 for right now. Probably have an opportunity to sign a couple more guys from the high school ranks over the course of the next, either this week or February signing day. And then the rest of it may be a couple transfers. But based on our numbers, based on the amount of players returning, our numbers are a little bit lower this year than they have been in the past due to the amount of returning players from the 22 class and 23 class and the lack of players that went into the portal, which is a good thing. So really excited about our group. As always, on this day, we bring Matt Doherty up, who's done a fantastic job. His team, his whole personnel department has once again, I would say, hit it out of the park in terms of evaluating talent, acquiring the talent, and then making sure that he and our assistant coaches have worked hand in hand in our recruiting process. A couple late guys came in, and Rashawn Clark probably one of the later ones in this class after last visit. Bryce Butler came in. We had Chuba came in very late in the game, I would say, and then I think that is Jordan Shaw and Jack Luttrell, Jack Luttrell. So that group is probably the last group that came in. Everybody else has been committed here for a long time. So that's exciting. We've been able to hold on to almost all of our commits, and I think we have a chance to have a fantastic team in the years to come with this group. So I will let you guys ask any questions to me or to Matt that you might have regarding any of the members of the class, but certainly we're able to fill our needs, fill our wants, and we were able to sign 6 guys from the state of Arizona. We were able to take care of really the needs we had defensively, offensively, and at this point in time, we're going to continue to just build upon the last 2 years of recruiting.
Justin and then Jason. The last 2 years, Jedd, each recruiting class has had a theme. When you look at the 2024 class, what do you think is the theme of this group?
I would say this class really filled a lot of needs for us in terms of depth and be able to really build the program the way we wanted it to. We wanted to make sure we always had a great quarterback. That's number one, right? Currently in our quarterback room, we have the freshman player of the year in the Pac-12 of 2021 and the freshman player of the year of the Pac-12 in 2023. And now we have an elite freshman coming in. So we are always going to be able to build our quarterback class. We wanted to make sure we continued in our running back room to replace. We needed to replace 2 there. 3 really when you count Stevie Rocker and then Mike Wiley and DJ all moving on. So we were able to get Adam Muhammad, who is just a fantastic high school football player. I mean, you look at some of his records that he set here. Number 2 all-time in Arizona State history in touchdowns scored behind Bijan Robinson. 1 touchdown ahead of Christian Kirk, 1 touchdown ahead of Kadeem Carey, and rushed for 5,000 yards. So you got Adam, and then you got Jordan Washington. So Jordan Washington is fastest high school track sprinter in America, one of the top 3, I guess. Ran a 10.24 100, 20.81 200. And so we were able to get those 2 guys. When it comes to receiver, we're only losing just Jacob Cowan. So losing Jacob, we were able to sign Audric and then sign Brandon Phelps, who is the all-time in the state of Arizona wide receiver, right? All-time leader in receptions, all-time leader in yards, all-time leader in touchdowns. So when you have those two guys coming in, then we have guys like Dylan Tapley and Charlie Crowell coming in the tight end position. We've got 3 linemen coming in. And then defensively, as we've talked about, we want to get youth to then push the older guys, and then we want the older guys to teach the youth in the D-line. So with Etowah, with Bryce, you've got a little bit different age bracket there. Then you got Chuba that's got 1 year left. And then at the linebacker position, we went back to the youth because of the fact that we have Jacob Manu, Justin Flo, then we have Tay Brown, then we have Kamu, now we have Stacey Bay coming in, and then in the secondary, we really loaded up. We loaded up with guys in the secondary because all of our secondary is returning, but all of them are moving on probably, or the safeties for sure at the end of the year. So the theme is continue to get better and continue to build depth that soon that this group will be able to take over and become the stars of the team.
Jason and then Brian. You mentioned potentially adding more players. Are there specific positions that you are targeting from here on out?
We're always looking at pass rushers, always looking at guys that can score touchdowns. So wide receivers are always a position that I always like to look at. And then linebackers, continue to build our linebacking core up. So those right now are the 3 spots that I would say are at the highest of the list. And then, you can never go wrong getting big people in your building. So whether that would be offensive line or defensive line, usually we don't turn down big.
And then there's multiple guys in this class that played a handful of positions in high school, linebacker, safety. How important is that versatility?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players here that when we signed them, their question was, am I going to play on offense or defense? Or I should say when we recruited them. And then when they committed, their question was, am I committing as a receiver or as a safety? Am I committing as a linebacker or a running back? Am I committing as a corner or am I committing as a slot receiver? Those are all good signs because I think there's huge value in versatility. And if you have versatility among the players, we have the ability to move them around, and they have the ability to really flourish in our system.
Earlier this month when you were discussing what you would look for in the portal, you mentioned needing to have a prior connection or relationship or something like that to even show an interest. What was that for the 3 that you've added so far?
Well, Jack had a relationship with Coach Aquina when Coach Aquina was at Stanford. And I think Coach Aquina, from what I understand, was very close in that recruitment process to bring him to Stanford. Jordan Shaw was very tied in with Coach Richardson, was very tied in with Mondo, Armand Hawkins, and had relationships within our whole, really the secondary side of our program. And then Chuba, when he went into the portal, he was a Long Beach Poly player, so we knew him from there. He knew Wowo, so he called up Wowo, Wendell Moe, and also reached out to Don Malesio and the guys that we have in the Long Beach community, obviously Coach Nansen, who played at Long Beach Jordan, and to get up to UC Davis and check them out. So those were the 3 guys that really stood out in the portal side of things, and really we've kind of limited our portal acquisitions to that.
I'm hoping both of you can address this. When you look around college football, there's a frenzy that's attached to the transfer portal, and a lot of programs are kind of portaling their way into different looking rosters. You guys, a little bit more traditional, like you were trying to build through high school recruiting. Why do you guys think that can still work?
Well, I'll go first, and then I'll let Matt answer, give his answer as well. I'll say this. Our freshmen are juniors from 2022. So why would I go out in the portal and go take a junior or a senior rather than a guy that's been with us for 3 years or 2 years going into 3, knows our system, and can lead our program? The guys that are out there portaling, in my opinion, are out there portaling because people left their program and they need to fill spots. or they're deciding that high school recruiting isn't that important. I don't see it that way. I think our job as college coaches is to recruit high school players and develop high school players. And then if you need to fill a need, you go ahead and go fill a need with a portal player, a free agent, so to speak. The best football teams build their program through the draft in the NFL. And then they use free agency as a way to supplement a spot or two. Similar to what college football has become, the draft is recruiting and free agency would be the portal. I would much prefer to train than retrain. And I would much prefer to coach a player that walks in our building, that wants to be here as a high school kid, that we can develop, and we've proven and we've shown our commitment to those players. And those players can be in our program, and our strength and conditioning program, and our training program. And I think it's a testament to our staff that people don't like to leave here. And I think what you'll see is our team continues to get better because guys don't leave here.
Yeah, I don't really have much to expound on it beyond that. I mean, it's the reduction of uncertainty. You've got a longer, more drawn-out time frame to recruit and evaluate the players on the high school side. So you understand what you're bringing into your building, what you're adding to your culture, and whether or not that's going to appreciably improve a given position room, given who they are and what they're capable of. With the portal stuff, obviously it's a more truncated evaluation process, and even if you're going to go about it very deliberately throughout the course of the year and say, let's just say for information's sake, we'll look at everybody's roster and we'll have a grade on every returning starter that has at least one additional year of eligibility. Even if you did that in the most organized of fashions, you're not able to get to know the player, but for that small 2-week window, that frenzy is taking place, as you put it. So just backing up Coach's point, it's much more, it inspires much more confidence to recruit them, get to know them, understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, where they need to be worked on the most, and then cultivate that when they're in the program. So you're getting guys who they know how we like to lift, they know how we practice, they understand they can hack it in our grind, and it's more of a crapshoot when you're dealing with less time to figure it out and get to know people.
For guys like Watkins and Lato from Apollo, how did that recruitment come about, and what do you like in terms of what you saw when you saw them?
Yeah, we were able to get 3 players from the same high school, which in Arizona, and a high school that hasn't traditionally put out player after player in Division I program. It's kind of a unique group this year. When I went there to their high school a week ago and had a visit with their head coach and the 3 players, you hear about, historically, it has not been a high school that's put out player after player in the same group. But that group happened to have been one in which really traditionally what happens is you locate a player, you go watch that player, and then you're like, who's, right? So let's say you go watch Watkins, right? And then you're like, wow, I really like the way Watkins is playing. Now, who's that other guy over there? Who's that tackle that they got? Oh, that's Lotto. Oh, let's figure out what he looks, let's figure out what he does. Let's start researching him. Holy cow, this running back's got more yards than anybody in the state. This running back's the #1 back in the state. We got to do more on this. Coach Graham, you need to come out and watch this player play. And then what happened was Coach Carroll and Coach Graham kind of got together, and they said, we should take all 3 of these players. We should take the center, we should take the tackle, and we should take the back. And that's what we were able to do.
And then adding to this kind of, Watkins is going to play center for you guys, not guard, or?
Our thought process right now is that anytime we can cross-train any offensive lineman, that's a success. So we're looking to cross-train Wendell Moe at guard and center. We're looking to cross-train Watkins, guard and center. We're looking to cross-train J.T. Hand, Grayson Stovall. This whole bowl prep, we've been cross-training J.T. and Grayson, and they've been rotating with the 2s. And even to the time that there's been some times that we put JT in with the 1s and let Josh go to guard as we're kind of working through the rotation. I think there's great value. We've also, what Big Jonah was able to do by play guard, play tackle. And when you get a chance to go in the NFL, if you could show a scout that you've been cross-trained and B, have the ability to play more than one position, That's what we're looking for. Unlike some of these spots where you could have a receiver and a DB, in this case, if you could have a guard and a center, we'll take it. And that's kind of where we're looking to kind of work with those two guys, or with those guys, I should say, with Watkins.
Jedd, ultimately, how has the sales pitch evolved from year zero to now?
Well, we have a better understanding of our team, and we have a better understanding of our needs and wants. So as we're able to go out there to the landscape, we're able to share specifically with the player, this is how you fit into our system. This is who you would be replacing one day. So watch him. Look to see what that looks like. Take an eye and see, do you like the way T-Mac produces? You know, do you like the way Jacob Cowling produces? Do you like the way Jonah Coleman produces? Okay, well, those guys are juniors next year. You would be an incoming freshman. Do you like the way Isaiah Ward as a pass rusher, Ephesians Pricesock as a corner, Takario Davis as a corner, Jacob Manu as a linebacker, they're all juniors next year. And now we're able to point to players, and they're able to say, do you like the way they develop? Do you see how much better they've gotten? You know, how does a player come in here that has had no offers and become a first-team All-Pac-12 linebacker in 2 years? How does a player come in here that had minimal offers, that chose to come to Arizona, brought 3 of his teammates, and become the freshman player of the year and be on the Heisman watch list for a year from now? It's the development of the players, and now we could sell the development rather than talk about, hey, if you come here, we will develop you. Now we're able to show them how players on our team have developed.
You've emphasized, obviously, recruiting in Arizona, getting more players from in-state, and you have 6 in this class, just how they help build your brand and what you make of them just as a whole.
Yeah, I'll let Matt talk about the in-state recruiting and kind of how that builds our brand up, and then what we think of the 6 guys.
Yeah, I think it was, obviously it was talked about at the outset of Coach Fisch being hired, but then put into practice. It's just the consistency, and then it's the volume in terms of the people involved, starting with the head football coach. I think all 6 of these guys that signed today would tell you he was at the forefront of their recruitments. He was at the forefront of the building of those relationships. He used every opportunity he could to visit them in person, spend time with them when they were here, regardless of the context, not just official visits, but any time that they set foot here, which was, you would stand as to reason. I haven't counted this out, but I would venture to guess that those guys were here at a higher clip than maybe some guys that don't live inside the state. So I think it's just the sorry to use the cliche, practice what we preach, but it's really that simple. And then spelling out the individual plan for those guys. We don't skimp, we don't cut corners just because they're in state. We don't take it for granted and just assume that because we reside in a certain area code that they will maybe sacrifice some things to play here. So they get the full breadth of our efforts, and obviously it's very special in terms of their ability to represent the state here. So.
When recruiting Deandre Williams, what jumped out to you, and how is he unique to other quarterbacks that you've recruited over the years?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't throw a lot of incompletions. That's the first thing I would say, which is an incredible sign of somebody that knows how to play the game of football. He has an elite athleticism in terms of speed. He's flat out fast for a quarterback. He does a great job of taking over a game at any given moment, that you can really put the ball in his hands and he can win you the game. He took Basha to their first ever state championship. He's a 4.0 student, both football student and academic student. He loves the game of football. He fits in what we do. You know, I once made a comment that, you know, you don't want a football team that when you watch you look at your position group and everybody's kind of all over the place and you don't really know what you're trying to get. You know, our quarterbacks are a certain look, and they have a certain skill set, and they have a certain feel, and they play the game a certain way. And that enables us to game plan for those guys and puts us in position that Deandre can now continue to learn from and grow without having to throw, well, this will be different for you, Deandre, and this will be different for you. You know, it's not that. So everything about Demond, he's the best player in the state of Arizona. He was the #1 ranked quarterback in the state of Arizona. It was a huge deal for us to get him, to want to join our program. His father played college football at Michigan State. His mom's from Tucson. I mean, this is who should come to Arizona. This is who should be here. And I had Sean McVay watch his film. I had Josh McDaniels look at his film. Mike Lombardi look at his film. And all these guys are just singing this kid's praises. And they just know how elite of a player he's going to be one day.
I think this is a question for both of you guys, but for a player that you're recruiting, a scholarship player that comes to an official visit, how would you describe what they do here and the itinerary, the plan for a guy on a visit?
Without getting into trade craft, it depends on what their experiences have been here, if any, beforehand. So it's never the same experience twice. That's to put it succinctly, but it's pretty thorough. And it's a good mix of both football and then what their life would be like outside the realm of football at this university. And that's social, that's academic, and so on and so forth. So I don't want to say we theme the days as such, but there is a kind of rhyme and reason to how it all flows. And at the end, we really just want to make sure that the opportunity here is spelled out to the nth degree, from top to bottom, as I just said, football and beyond. And not only that, do they know and trust who they're going to be leaving their child with. And so when all those boxes are checked, we usually end up with pretty successful Sunday mornings.
I would say this, too, to add on to that with the official visits. And I tell parents this all the time. Coach's job are to sell you and sell your son to come play for us. Players' jobs are to tell the truth. So they got nothing. They got no skin in the game. As a matter of fact, some of them are like, wait a second, I don't want that guy coming here. So my philosophy is this, and our philosophy is this. As much time as a player can spend with our team, the better chance we have to get a player to commit to us. Because they can ask our kids anything. And the same regard is anytime we have any event with the parents of the official visitors, we ask our players to be involved and sit down and talk to the parents. Ask questions, answer questions, and be fully honest and transparent. So when a parent asks a kid, they ask Noah Fafita, Noah, tell me about Coach. I'm not around. I'm not there. He's able to answer that question, and he's able to tell them exactly what it's like to be coached here, exactly what type of program we have, and I believe that's the most important thing we do on an official visit.
A couple Alamo Bowl related questions for you, Jedd. First of all, what's the outlook at left tackle with Jordan opting out?
Yep, so with Jordan opting out, we've been working a rotation of Joe Borjan. We've been working a rotation of Raymond Polito and Big Jonah. And we've been working those guys in all the different spots of left tackle, right guard, right tackle. So if you think about those three guys, will be playing those three positions. Where they fit in has been a constant, let's call it moving parts to figure out, okay, well, if we did this and we did that, how does that work? All right, if we did this combo, how does that work? So that's kind of what we're working through. We'll have Friday's practice, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday still, to be able to really go through it. I would like to say probably next week we'll be able to get a lot more reps at those guys at the spot we think they're going to play on Thursday night. But that's kind of how it's been looking right now.
Running back, Jonah Coleman got hurt during the Territorial Cup, and DJ Williams didn't play. Who's available today?
Yeah, yesterday and today everybody practiced. My expectation, unless we have a setback over the course of the next 6 days, that every running back will be available, and not just available, will play in the same type of rotation that we have, let's call it the Utah game.
You guys have had players like Jacob Manu last year come Wayla, kind of surprise people and come out of nowhere. Who's that type of player in this recruiting class that you see?
expectations on kids, so I don't want this to get misconstrued. I'm going to go with Raheem Wright. I think Raheem's incredibly versatile in terms of what he brings to the table. I think he's a three-position player in our secondary. I think he's smart enough to digest all three of those and contribute at those spots early on. Certainly has the toughness and the speed to be a special teams player and a difference maker in that phase of the game as well. So I think he would be an early favorite for meaningful contributor early in his career.
Yeah, I think it's going to be there's going to be some guys out there that's going to surprise us like they always do. I did go to Audric Harris's house on a home visit and was just blown away on what he looks like right now. He's looks like he's gotten taller, bigger. He had a huge senior year, so I'm excited to watch Audric play. Obviously, Rashawn Clark was a huge get for us late in the game. Watching his tape was just, he's special. He's a special player, so he's going to be fun to watch. And then there's so many interesting players in this class that are going to bring a skill set that either we have that they're going to build upon or something unique that we haven't seen yet. So it'll be great to see DeMond out here, right, in 10 days. It'll be great to see Jordan Washington out here in 10 days or whatever it is, 2 weeks. And then, we have 7 or 8 guys coming in mid-year. And to be able to watch them and see what that looks like, it's going to be a blast to get this team back together. Just got to figure out how it doesn't become a continuation of last season. We don't need a 20-month season, so we need to take a little bit of a break from the time the Alamo game ends and the next team meeting, so our players and our coaches don't feel as if this is just a season that never ends, but there's actually an ending after the Alamo Bowl and then a start sometime in January with the new freshmen, the transfers, and then all of the returning players. Okay. Thank you.